Hiya, Councillor Lowe. Can you hear us in the room okay?
I can, thank you.
That's great, thank you.
Thank you to everyone for attending this meeting. My name is Councillor Tommy Gray and I am the Mayor. Members of the public are welcome to observe the proceedings on YouTube. Due to regulations surrounding voting, only those members physically present are able to vote. When you are speaking, please speak towards the microphone so everyone can hear you. Please do not obstruct your mouth to ensure that anyone lip reading can do so if anyone is having issues. Please let Democratic Services know. Some housekeeping. We are not expecting fire drill, so if the alarm sounds, please exit the way you came in. Please ensure that any mobile phones are switched to silent. If technology fails, I will adjourn the meeting to try and resolve the issue. Right, apologies. Councillor Roy Lees, Christine Hayden, Councillor Adrian Lowe, and Michelle. Is Michelle here?
Oh no, sorry, Michelle is on Teams.
Oh, yeah,
And
Michelle
Brown.
Brown, that I couldn't make out what that was. Yeah. Right. Righto. Declarations of interest. Members are reminded of their responsibility to declare any pecuniary interest in respect of matters contained in this agenda. Are there any declarations of interest? No. Minutes, pages 5 to 10. This item is for decision. Are there any issues to raise on the accuracy of the minutes? Councillor Bradley, please can you present the minutes?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I propose that the minutes of the meeting held on the 16th of April 2024 are taken as a true and correct record? Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Wilson, please can you second?
Seconded, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. We'll go to the vote. Those for? All those against? Any abstentions? I would like to welcome our newly elected councillors at their first meeting of the council. Thanks also go to those councillors who have stood down or were not elected for their service to the people of Chorley. Right, and now public questions. No questions have been submitted. Jumps to see. Oh, there. Returning officers report 11 to 12. This item is for noting. Chris, would you like to present your report?
The report is set out at pages 11 and 12 of the agenda pack, setting out the people who were elected in the elections recently held.
Thank you. Councillor Bradley, please can you propose the report?
Delighted to do so, Mr Mayor, and I obviously thought that the Chief Executive could have said more about the winner in South East and Heath Jarnock, but he obviously didn't want to, but I will hold that against him for many years to come. What I would like to mention, Mr Mayor, obviously, as you pointed out earlier, thank those councillors who either stood down or were re-elected, and particularly Councillor Collins, Leader of the Opposition, who has been very courteous and very worked in the best way for Chorley, in my view, while he's been Leader of the Opposition. I hope that Councillor Platt can do the same in his new exalted position. Although we'll obviously have one ear on the radio for Man City later on if we drag it out long enough, Alan. So yeah, Alan didn't have to worry about. Alan Collins didn't have to worry about that. Berry was a foregone conclusion most weeks. But Mr Mayor, it would be very remiss of me not to mention the excellent results that we had, where we got 3 new councillors. They're in the room with us tonight, Councillors Wilkie, Amway and Green, who I'm sure will be a great addition to this council chamber and will stop me speaking while they do a lot more speaking from there where they are. It was, as I said on the night, a resounding endorsement of Labour in Chorley, a resounding endorsement of what this council's doing. I am terrified of standing opposite Councillor Beaver, sat opposite me like a member of the opposition, which he often is. Don't listen to his views on bowlers or electric charging points on that side if I were you. But yeah, it just shows the extent of the domination we have in Chorley. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, Mr Mayor, members can decide for themselves. But what it shows is that we must be doing something right. However many 30,000 people can't be wrong, they do say, although I'm sure there are many contrary opinions amongst that. Great result. I think we did an excellent job, the returning officer and, of course, his excellent electoral team, whose life we always make a nightmare at this time of year. We all go down with candidatitis, and myself included. And therefore, thank you to those officers who did that work. We realised it was a long evening when we had to split the ballot papers and all the rest of it. And I thank the members who were there for keeping their patience and being very generous to each other through the evening. So I note the report, propose the report, Mr Mayor, and I'll pass on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor Bradley, Councillor Wilson, please can you second the...
Yeah, happy to second, Mr Mayor, and just echo the Leader's comments. Welcome our new councillors. If you do manage to stop the Leader of the Council speaking, then you'd have achieved something that no other councillors achieved. But all the same, I do wish them all well, and obviously, as Councillor Bradley said, I hope that that we go on to continue to serve people and make sure we represent the interests of everyone in every part of our borough. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Members, any comments or questions? Hi, Councillor Park.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and I'll start as I intend to go on by being very brief. 10 to 8, my alarm goes off. Well, I think I mentioned to Alistair on Thursday that if the press is to believe, this is the last open goal that you're going to have. So make the most of it. I mean, I've actually had to alter my script because I actually had the old ringing endorsement of Labour, and he said resounding, so he completely thrown me. But, you know, I have to, congratulations, credit where it's due, and I would echo your thoughts on the people who we have lost for one reason or another. I was disappointed that nobody mentioned your allies in winning this, our so-called friends in Westminster, and I thought you might have given them a bit of a mention somewhere down the line.
I think they're doing themselves very well.
I mean, as I said, you know, we won't argue. We're down to the Three Musketeers or whatever you want to call us nowadays. There is one area of Chorley that appears to be forever blue, although you have done your best to get it out of Chorley, so you might succeed next time round. But yeah, I mean, the ringing endorsement, I think, comes from the Diane Abbott School of Numeracy, doesn't it, really? Because looking at the figures, I think less than 1 in 5 think you're doing a good job based on your figures. But I don't want to be churlish. I can only congratulate you, as I said. Well done. Thank you. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Any more questions? No. Please can we note the report? Election of Mayor for the council year 24-25. This item is for decision. Councillor Snape, would you like to speak on this item?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It's an absolute pleasure to nominate Councillor Gordon France to be the next Mayor of Chorley. I first met the France family in 2007 when we were doing some telephone canvassing in the old Wheelton and Withnall ward. And lo and behold, I phone canvassed the France family in Brinscoe. Not only did we recruit the young Chris France, who went on to win our only Labour council seat gain in the country in 2009, but we also recruited Margaret and Gordon France, and it was almost like it was buy one, get two free. Most definitely, I think the most productive night's phone canvassing I think we've ever had. And one day I know that we'll manage to recruit Louise as well, who I believe is watching online, and I'm sure she'll join the Labour Party once she's saved Withnell Health Centre. In 2012, Gordon retired from his job as a floor covering estimator, and I remember a conversation that Chris had with him, saying, how can you fill your time now you're retired? And we came up with the idea, why don't you help Kim in a county council election? And I don't think we've ever looked back since. I think we've been the A-team ever since. And I know the support of all the Frances has been incredible ever since. And I know I'd have been lost without their help. After a fantastic county council election in our area in the following year, we suggested to Gordon that he stood in the old Pennine ward the following year. Everybody said, you won't win, it's one of the safest Tory wards in Lancashire. And we told there wasn't much point, but anybody who knows Gordon knows he's not a defeatist, and when he says he's going to do something, he does it properly. The old Pennine ward was a one-member ward, so something like 750 houses. And we set our stall out over a good 12-month period. We knocked on every door once, so we did it again and again and again. And I think by the end of it, we'd visited everybody about 5 times. So much so, Gordon was having cups of tea with residents and chatting to them about his next holiday, as he still does, frustratingly, to this day. We got to the count on the election night, and we found out that he'd won by 27 votes. An absolutely phenomenal election result, and I genuinely don't believe anybody could have won that seat apart from Gordon. Of course, being the determined team that we are, we carried on that same approach the following 4 years, and in 2018, Gordon trebled his majority to 64. Indeed, residents remarked, and still do, that we've never seen councillors as much, and one former Tory councillor who lives in the ward remarked to a good friend of mine that he'd never met anyone who literally knocked on every house, every farm, every barn, every mansion, wherever they were until they'd met us too. Of course, in 2021, with the boundary changes, Gordon and Margaret got the opportunity to stand in the same ward together of Chorley North East, and Chris was standing down, so we recruited Jenny Whiffin to the team, and we've very much become a little Chorley North East Labour family ever since. All of them are genuinely the kindest, most hard-working people that you could ever ask to work with. Although a little bit annoying on times is Gordon. I mean, we do always try to have a laugh when we're out and about, although I'm not sure what Gordon's interpretation of a laugh can be perceived as. One example of that, we were out litter picking shortly after lockdown, and I went and fell knee deep in a water-filled pothole, and Gordon stood there laughing his head off while Jenny helped me out of it. I mean, we spend that much time together in Chorley North East ward as a team. I've been asked by residents, am I Gordon's daughter, am I Gordon's carer, even am I Gordon's bodyguard, but I think that's just Gordon trying to be funny when he's not. On a personal level, away from his council role, Gordon prides himself on having grown up in Brinscoll, and he's very much rooted in his community going back generations. And he's extremely proud of his 2 children, Chris and Louise, and his daughter-in-law, Steph. He loves spending time on his holidays in the Isle of Wight with their 2 dogs, or further afield abroad, although next time I'm reliably informed Gordon will be carrying his own passport, as last year when they went away, Margaret decided to leave Gordon at passport control and walked off with the passport in her handbag. On most days you can find Gordon at David Lloyd Gym. Indeed, often when we're out canvassing residents, they'll often say, oh, I know Gordon from the gym. He's even recruited leafleters in Adlington from his conversations that he's had with people in the gym. We get people pulling up in the middle of the road, stopping us talking to people because they know him from the gym. He loves a good curry, and I'm reliably informed by Louise that his nickname at his favourite curry house is Flash, as in Flash Gordon. On a closing note, I know that Gordon will be an incredible mayor, and I wish Gordon and Margaret every good wish for the year ahead that you both deserve. And I know that you've got lots of friends and family looking forward to supporting you, along with many of your residents. So it's over and out, Flash. Have the best year that you can, and it's a privilege to nominate Councillor France to be the Mayor of Chorley. Thank you.
Thank you. So can I just congratulate you two for becoming Mayor of Eglinton? Yeah. Councillor Whiffin, would you like to speak on this item?
Absolutely. 1 second, sorry. Mr. Mayor, it is an absolute honour and privilege to be here tonight whilst you're becoming the Mayor. So since I joined the Chorley North East Ward family 4 years ago now, I've been in absolute awe at the way Gordon, my council dad, conducts himself with all of his councillor duties. And I know that the rest of my ward family feels exactly the same way. As a candidate 4 years ago, I was extremely nervous about joining this family, as I had been told over and over again, including by Sir Lindsay Hoyle himself, how brilliant and hardworking Gordon is. But fast forward a few years, and I know I had absolutely nothing to feel nervous about. The first time I met Gordon, he embraced me in a massive hug and expressed how excited he was for me to be part of this team. And I feel very lucky every single day to have been adopted by you all. You're the best council parents that I could have asked for. Now, whilst at canvassing, as Kim has just said, we always have a really great time, and I thought that I would share some stories with you today from those experiences. Now, I've never met someone with as good face-to-face personal skills as Gordon. He gives every resident his time and makes sure everybody is listened to because he's genuinely interested in helping everybody out. And it's just as well that Gordon is so good at face-to-face interaction because you will not catch him answering his phone. I think our team should invest in some walkie-talkies, actually, for canvassing sessions, as that's the only way we're going to get hold of you. Gordon is so approachable that he gets stopped on his dog walks around Brinscoll and just chats to people in the streets. It's like walking around with a celebrity walking around with you. And don't even get me started on canvassing in Heapy. You think he's a celebrity in Brinscoll? Canvassing in Heapy with Gordon is like canvassing with the king himself. We actually refer to Heapy as Gordon's kingdom because he's so popular there. And Gordon's love of residents in Chorley North East doesn't start and end with a canvassing session. Gordon is a councillor 24/7. We often hear from residents about Gordon canvassing midweek in the gym. We constantly hear tales of Gordon discussing the state of potholes during a midweek relax in the David Lloyd jacuzzi. I'll leave an image of Gordon and jacuzzi for you, for your imaginations or your nightmares. I am a little surprised yet, though, that we've not added Speedos to the Chorley Labour shop because I can think of one person who will definitely be adding them to his basket. And as you can tell, canvassing with my council dad is always amusing, and it has significantly improved since Gordon got his new car. Now, as much as I love the Jag, and we all know that you also loved that Jag, there is something nice about being chauffeured around in a Range Rover of preheated seats by the King of Heapy himself. See, Gordon knows everybody. He's warm and friendly, he's approachable, and he genuinely cares about helping all of the residents. His massive majority of about 800 tells us how well thought of he is in his community, which isn't surprising given that Gordon grew up on School Lane and has lived in Brinscoll his entire life. He then went on to marry Councillor Margaret France on the 1st of July 1978. They had 2 children, and now they've got a daughter-in-law who all grew up in Brinscoll and have settled in their roots in the community as well. And in his spare time, Gordon enjoys walking around the village, watching the football, spending time with his dogs, and visiting the local Little Tiger Indian restaurant, which is just a stone's throw from his house. In fact, he's such a regular at the Little Tiger, he's even got his own little table right in the back corner by the back window. I couldn't think of a better person to represent Chorley North East Ward than Gordon because the ward just runs in his veins. Now, you might be thinking that I've been speaking for a while, and that's because I learn from the best. Gordon is an absolute pro at talking. In our canvassing sessions, Kim, Margaret and I will have door-knocked literally about 20 people each, and we'll be beginning to wonder where Gordon is about, half an hour later. We won't bother calling him because, as you know, he's not going to answer his phone. So we'll send out a search party. And of course, we'll find him all the way back at number 1, nattering away to the first resident that he's approached. I mean, fair play to you because your method clearly works. But Margaret, good luck to you this year. If he's going to be chatting to everyone for as long as he has at all these events, I don't think you're going to be home in time for EastEnders. I've learnt a lot from Gordon, and I tried to replicate that in all my duties. And I was lucky enough that Gordon and Margaret took me under their wing, protected me, and have looked after me since day one. Gordon, you're a role model. You're a legendary councillor, and Kim and I are both proud to be your adopted council daughters. However, I will just finish with one piece of advice, and that is for the officers rather than Gordon himself. No matter how hard you try, I'm telling you now, you will never, ever get Gordon to answer his phone. You could buy him the latest model and he still wouldn't turn it on. But if you can't get through to him, don't worry. You know where you can find him. And that'll be in the gym, in the jacuzzi. So Gordon, council dad, I couldn't be prouder to be stood here today watching you become the Mayor of Chorley. In fact, I couldn't think of a better person who is going to wave the flag for Chorley. You're going to be fab, and I hope that you enjoy every single second of it.
Can I invite group leaders and members to make comments? Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. How do I follow those two very excellent speeches and said everything about Gordon? In fact, everything else written down here is probably crossed out there because you said it. Flash, I thought it was just your cars, Gordon. I thought Flash was just your cars, not you, the whole image. Gordon is very, as we've heard, hard-working. He's hyper-reliable. He's very chatty. He's very genuine, and he is very popular out there with the people of, in particular, that area, Brinscoll, with Null, Heapy, that area, but everywhere in Chorley. I've had the delight over the last 6 or 8 weeks campaigning, yet again with Gordon and Margaret and Jenny, and I know how hard it is to pin Gordon down. I have to ring Margaret to find out where his phone is, and it's not where Gordon is. He's very hard to manage. The mayoral staff will have their work cut out, but that's because he's generally you talking to somebody about something that they're interested in, and as a result, he's then interested in it as well. And that's a perfect recipe for me for being the mayor. You have to take an interest in people. I hope you're not taking your spatula with you on mayoral visits, walking up the road with his spatula for pushing things through doors. But he is legend in his own area. He likes a pint, he likes being in the club, and he likes a curry, and he's a very down-to-earth person. There has been a lot of rivalry over recent weeks, I do have to break it to you members of the council, between the Francis around majorities and size of votes. Lots of speculation, lots of fevered going back into their own area, delivering more leaflets, so Margaret get the highest majority. Gordon did get more votes than Margaret. Gordon did get a bigger majority numerically, but unfortunately, Gordon, she beat you by 1% on share of the vote. On my calculations, and my spreadsheet is never wrong, as you well know. So, you are a winner. You will be, I'm sure, a winner for Chorley as mayor. On behalf of the whole Labour group, we wish you and Margaret all the very best. We hope you enjoy your year. We hope you can miss a couple of holidays and make the most of it, and then have a big holiday when you finish. Enjoy it, appreciate it, and like most mayors, make the very best of it. So good luck, Gordon, good luck, Margaret, and you have the best wishes of all the Labour group.
Any more comments? Carry on, Councillor Platt.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I am feeling a little put out. I'm the only one on this side who's not, I don't get a hug. So next meeting at Heapy, bring you in. I've known the mayor-elect since his election in 2014 and subsequently as a member of Heapy Parish Council since 2015. He's always been very friendly to me, even as the opposition, very straightforward, with no airs and graces whatsoever, and he does so much to help the residents of Chorley North East, when he's not on holiday, of course. I think, just referring to what was said about the officers, perhaps we could put something in the budget to get him chipped to something. To be able to find out where he is. No. As I said before, I'm going to be very, very brief, and I'm sure the mayor and the mayor-elect and his lady mayoress will do the utmost credit to the office of Mayor of Chorley. Thank you, John. Thank you, Mayor.
Any more comments? No? Right. Please can we move to the vote? All those in favour? All those against? Any abstentions? No. Oh, right. Recommendation to formally elect Councillor Gordon France as the Mayor of the Borough for the 24-25 year. All those for, all those, oh. Oh, aye, somebody went there. Very bad, that. Yeah. Councillor France.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank everybody for the privilege of becoming the Mayor of Chorley. I find it very important, and I feel that the Mayor should be presenting Chorley. Thank you to my councillor daughters for proposing and seconding me. Yeah, I do go on a bit on the doors, and yeah, they are right about the phone. You can never get me on the phone. And they've got a phone. They've given me a new phone. I can't even work the thing, but never mind. Have a job to switch it on, never mind anything else. But no, thank you very much. I see it as a privilege, and thank you to all the members here for allowing me to be the Mayor of Chorley. Thank you very much.
Election of the Deputy Mayor for the Council year 24-25. This item is for decision. Councillor Sherwood, would you like to speak on this item?
I'm both delighted and honoured to propose Councillor Alistair Morwood as the Deputy Mayor for 2024-2025. Alistair is a ward colleague, friend and a truly honourable man. I've had to, on several occasions, ring Alistair in the past. I know whatever I say is held in utmost confidence. He will respond in a calm and measured way and give spot-on advice. I really appreciate that. I can think of no finer man to hold this position. Thank you.
Councillor Lowe, would you like to speak on this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And first of all, could I say I'm disappointed that I can't be present in person to formally second Councillor Morwood, my colleague Alistair, as the Deputy Mayor-elect. However, I'm going to keep my remarks brief because tonight is mainly the night for Gordon, and congratulations, Gordon, on your election as Mayor. I will keep my remarks brief. I'll have a more fulsome tribute in 12 months' time for Alistair, where I will be spending the next 12 months to, in effect, get the background information for Alistair. I'm delighted to support his nomination as the Deputy Mayor, not only as one of my ward colleagues, but as a cabinet colleagues. And I think I've had the pleasure of persuading Alistair to stand as a councillor back in the days before the reorganisation. So if he wants to hold that against me, I will take it on hand. As I'm not present in the chamber, and I understand I'm following procedure, and I've got a very able substitute, the leader of the council, who will do the formalities of seconding, but he's got Alistair has got my 100% support.
Councillor Lowe, thank you. Councillor Bradley, would you like to speak on this item?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I will roll my leader's comments as well as my formal seconding to keep the legal people happy because Councillor Lowe is not in the room. Delighted to formally second Councillor Morwood as the Deputy Mayor. What can I say about Alistair? He's Scottish. He's called Alistair. He's a bit of a dancer. You know, he gets a bit grumpy when provoked, as those people at group meeting last night saw. So what is not to like? He's my kind of man. He's a brother from another mother. He is my kind of person. Seriously though, I will save, like others will, their comments for next year regarding Mr. Morwood. He's been a great councillor and he fully deserves his year this year as his warm-up act for Gordon, and then next year in the full role. And therefore, on behalf of the whole Labour group, we hope you have a great year, Alistair, and you are ready for it next year when it's your turn for the big job.
Right, thank you, Councillor Bradley. Can you invite group leaders, members to make any comments? Carry on, Councillor Clark.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Once again, brief as usual. It is nice to see that Councillor Morwood does choose to reside in the blue zone, shall we say. You're obviously more than welcome in our little Kaliningrad of Chorley, our little blue enclave. I mean, as I said, I'm going to be very, very brief. I mean, the one thing I would say about Councillor Morwood is that I've watched so many planning meetings, and I've heard him say, "I'd like to, but my hands are tied." I wonder whether there's sort of bondage implications in the house, because when you get out to Maudsley, you get down there. But I would like to congratulate him on his nomination, and I'm sure he will do a tremendous job. And as everybody said, there'll be more to come next year from the leaders. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Clark. Can you invite group leaders and members to make any comments? Oh, yeah. Please can we move to the vote? All those in favour? All those against? Any abstentions? No. Recommendation. Oh, yeah. Councillor Morwood.
Surreptitiously moved the microphone. Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm sorry for taking your, Alistair taking your place as the grumpy one. I'll get back to being the grumpy, you can be the grumpy one, I'll be the smiley one. And as for the blue corner, what you don't know is I'm a fifth column there. Can I just express my thanks to the members for confirming my appointment as Deputy Mayor, particularly my ward colleagues, Jean and Adrian. It's an honour to be appointed. And I look forward to the coming year in my role as Deputy Mayor in supporting the Mayor and the Mayoress and I'm sure it's going to be a terrific year in supporting their work for Chorley. And I know that I'm going to be ably supported by my Deputy Mayoress, who I'd like to introduce. That will be my wife, Jane. If you'd like to stand up, Jane. I know some of you know her, but... So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Morwood. There will be a short adjournment while the mayoral party exchange robes and change of office. Thank you.
formal declaration, sorry. I, Gordon France, have been elected to the office of Mayor of the Borough of Chorley. I declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgments and abilities.
I, Alistair Morwood, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of the Borough of Chorley, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
Two things really. One is my omission to announce my mayoress as my wife, Margaret. I do generally try to ignore her, and I did it very successfully on this occasion. And secondly, may I thank Councillor Gray for his year in office. I hope he enjoyed it. I certainly did. You've made a sort of first-class model for me as the new mayor. If I do it anywhere near as well as you, Tommy, that will be great. Can I call on, invite group leaders to make any comments? Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, Mr. New Mayor. And that robe looks very good on you, Gordon. I hope they're not wearing shorts under it, though.
They've not quite come yet.
It's warming up.
I've no doubt they will be coming.
Yes,
Where's your man back?
Yes, tributes to the retiring Mayor, Thomas. Now then, back in his rightful place. Tommy, you have done a brilliant job for Chorley for last year, an absolutely brilliant job. I think there's a few of us wondered how you take to it. You're not the biggest speaker, but you are one of the friendliest people we all know, and therefore you did look like you're enjoying it, as the Mayor said. You appeared to throw yourself into everything, and you gave us, you did everything you possibly could. There were some great highlights for me personally, and I'm sure for the rest of the council. We really enjoyed the cricket match, although we were robbed by the officers in the end. Still hurts, but next year, new Mr. Mayor, we'll get back. We've been training already. Your pronunciation of members' names was excellent, wasn't it, Councillor Mullinex? The Santa Walk had to be seen to be believed, with Tommy deciding to do it at about 2 days' notice to walk 15 miles. I mean, at least Danny thought he was going to do it a couple of weeks, months before and trained a little bit. Tommy, I'll do it on Saturday, 15 miles later, and he's absolutely cream-crackered. But then again, he recovered amazingly in the Rose and Crown when the music got going, and the steps was on and he was dancing away with the rest of them. And I was so delighted just last weekend to see the Mayor at the end of the 10K. It was a sight for sore eyes, Tommy, you with your arms out to hug me as I crossed the lines, just about to keel over and saying, and get a drink of water. It's actually surprising, Mr. Mayor. I am now seeing Tommy even in my dreams, even when I close my eyes, he's everywhere. Myself and Vanessa were at Burkacre the other week looking for plants, and I was going around Burkacre. I looked in the window at the dining room. Who was there? The Mayor, tapping on the window with a pint of beer and his Sunday dinner. Mr. Mayor, I see him everywhere. You can't escape him. But he's been great. He's been everywhere. He's been at every do. Michelle, you've done a great year as well. I take my hat off to you. The things you've been to and done and stood there and been part of and thrown yourself into the role as well. Again, did the 10K. Thank goodness Tommy didn't do it, but you did it, and a great time you did as well. We watched Verdi's Requiem, and I think we both thought, what are we doing here? But it was amazing, it was great, something different, and that's what happens, Mr. Mayor, in the mayoral year, and I think that's what you'll have the opportunity to do. You see things that you don't know what's going on, you weren't aware of, and you try something different. And I think most mayors, and there's a lot of retired mayors here, realise that if you throw yourself into it and give it your all, you get loads back, because the people of Chorley are amazing. You're there to be their first citizen, and therefore, like Tommy did, you become a reflection of the people of Chorley. He was a great representative for Chorley. I've had that from other mayors and other councils across Lancashire. They've gone, your mayor's a character, isn't he? I said, yes, he is. He's a slow burner, but he's a character when he gets going. I hope you enjoy your relaxing now after having your hectic year. Get off at Caravan, have a few weeks away, enjoy yourself. And the main thing is, Tommy, you gave it your best, and I think Chorley appreciates that very much. So thank you for your mayoral year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Platt, would you like to make some comments?
Hey up, Tommy. Now, Deborah and I have known the former mayor, shall we call him, for around 25 years, starting with Exton Parish Council as part of the Danny and Tommy team, as they were. I think Tommy served the residents for 34 years as parish councillor, which is quite a good stint. You get less for murder, don't you? And he went on to greater things, and he's continued to serve the residents as a ward councillor. We've known him as a devoted family man who sings best for the residents, firstly of Exton North, and now for most of Exton, obviously apart from the blue bit, which we'll keep him out of. He's always been pretty plain speaking, I think we can go around the room and agree on, and well known for his occasional holidays. One of which springs to mind, I think I remember standing against him in the 5th, 6th or whatever, and it actually caused the deputy leader to scurry down south to get some nomination papers signed for an election, because Tommy was surprising on holiday. He's represented the borough very, very well over the past year, attending many functions, usually taking a bit of exercise on nature walks and Santa dashes. For a man of his constituents, it's a damn good thing. Always ending with a pint somewhere, I think, though, to put all the lost liquid back in. I think possibly the highlight, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that might have been visiting Westminster to collect the Constituency of the Year award for this borough council, which must be a real honour. I think finally, the thing I'll mostly remember for his term is a couple of meetings ago, our eventful March council meeting, when the mayor was spirited from the chamber by his own version of Charlie's Angels. We turned around and he'd gone. And I think we should thank the three ladies for this. Saved us the mayor. And finally, just to go back to the new mayor, I do hope the plague of the post-it notes doesn't get you as well. Thank you.
Any other members like to comment? Danny, Councillor G.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations on achieving the role of mayor. And congratulations, I won't forget you. Congratulations, Margaret, on being a mayoress. And also to Kim, congratulations for Adlington. Hopefully you might be sat in that chair up here one day. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to say a few words about my good friend and war colleague. Up to half an hour ago, he was the mayor. And now he's a man with no title, just Tommy. Or Tom, whatever he wants to be called. But is that just right? It's not, is it? Because quite a few months ago, he had some children in here, and children being children, they were all over him. And one little boy came up to him and said, are you the King of Chorley? And is this your castle? And Tommy, hey lad, of course it is, of course I am. And so we now have the King of Chorley, we've got the King of Brinscull, may I say, the Queen of Adlington, which is annoying to Alistair because he always thought he was the King of Chorley. But that day might come sometime. So, joking apart, Tommy had taken being mayor like a duck to water. I will admit, I wasn't worried about him because I know Tommy's Tommy, and I knew he would do a good job. And he's done an excellent job. He really has. From the way he's conducted the council meetings, it was unique. I don't think any other mayor is going to be the same as Tommy for conducting the meetings. He made us smile, he made us laugh, and that's what it's all about. People remember Tommy for what he was. His laughter, infectious laughter. Wherever he went, he had a smile. He enjoyed life. He enjoyed being mayor. He enjoyed everything he did, mayor. And I know you will miss it, Tommy. But just relax. Go to the Isle of Wight. Just a few days, you know, you'll be all right. Tommy had an excellent Mayoress, Michelle. I think she's hiding over there somewhere. And Mary, Tommy's wife. Thank you, Mary. Tommy wouldn't have managed without the help of Michelle. Michelle was there to help him, look after him. And it was like a double act. In fact, I called it Beauty and the Beast, but yes, he's done an excellent job, Tommy. Chorley and Acton have been so proud of what you've done for us, what you've done for Chorley, and I am proud of what you've done for Chorley. I hope you can relax. I hope you enjoy your retirement, if you put it. And I've been told that the drinks are on you tonight, so you better get your wallet out. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much.
Councillor Beach.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tommy lad, what can I say? I didn't know Tommy until I became a councillor, and I've got the privilege now of calling him friend. Michelle, Mary, you've got Tommy back. Thank you for lending him for us for this year. And as one of the Charlie's Angels that looked after Tommy, to the new mayor, if you need your security detail, the Angels are available. Thank you.
Any other members like to speak? In that case, Councillor Gray, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, yeah, it's on. Right. Firstly, I would like to congratulate our new mayor and Mayoress of Chorley, Councillor Gordon and Margaret France, and Deputy Mayor, Councillor Alistair Morwood. Secondly, the civvies, including number 1. This is a joke. Each one of them has been brilliant and an asset to Chorley Borough. Not forgetting Paula for helping with my speeches, Chris and Ruth supporting me during the meetings. Finally, my Mayoress, Michelle, and of course Mary for all her support. I couldn't have done it without you. The last 2 years have flown by, but Michelle and I have thoroughly enjoyed our time as Mayor and Mayoress of Chorley. We've met some incredible volunteers and organisations that are a real credit to the borough. We are honoured to have been invited to visit the Earl Ambulance, Shop Mobility, Darien House and St Catherine's Hospice and raise much needed funds for them all during the mayoral year. You may not be surprised that one of my most enjoyable visits was to Blackburn Rovers Football Club, and we were honoured to collect an award on behalf of the borough at a ceremony in the Speaker's Apartments in London for best constituency, but one of our most interesting was a visit to Wymott Prison, where they are doing a great job to try and rehabilitate the prisoners. Last but not least, thanks to all the councillors for joining Michelle and I when visiting groups and organisations in your ward. Your support was appreciated. Our only disappointment was not being invited to visit Exton Ward. That's water under the bridge. Well, I am getting ready for a pint, so I think I'll close it. And hand over to Mr. Mayor. Thanks again, everyone.
I remembered the mayoress as well. Right, we're now moving into the business section of the agenda. Would any guests of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor like to retire to Committee Room 1? You don't have to, just an option. Thank you. We'll now continue with the meeting. Mayoral announcements. All members are invited to attend my Civic Sunday Parade and service taking place this Sunday, 19th of May. If you would like to attend, please assemble in the Lancastrium from 1:40. The procession will form up at 1:55 and leave the Town Hall at 2:10 before arriving at St Mary's Church for the service at 2:30. Please note that the parade route will include a walk uphill into the church grounds. Therefore, should you prefer to make your own way to the church by a different route, please feel free to do so. Tea and coffee will be served in the Town Hall after the service. Appointment of the Executive Leader. This item's for decision. Councillor Wilson, would you like to speak on this item?
A big intake of breath there from my right. I don't know why. I'm only going to say nice things, Mr. Mayor. But Councillor Bradley did just refer before to Labour's success at the local elections. But in fairness, it wasn't just this year that we've been successful. Ever since Councillor Bradley took over as leader back in 2012, seems like a long time ago now. Bit older, bit wiser, definitely greyer. We have, that's just me. And we have actually enjoyed continued success on this chamber. Indeed, when Councillor Bradley took over as leader, there was 15 Labour councillors, and now we have 39. And that's not just because of the national picture, which Councillor Platt referred to earlier, because as we know, there's been some rough times for Labour during that period. We've lost 3 general elections during that period, but at each local elections, we increased our number, we increased our strength, and that's not by accident. That is because a significant part of that is the leadership offered by Councillor Bradley, and if that endorsement's not worth a pint afterwards, nothing is. So I'm happy to nominate Councillor Bradley to continue as executive leader for another year.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor Murray, would you like to speak on this item?
No, it won't get worse. Happy to second Councillor Bradley, and as ever, happy to support him as ward colleague.
Members, any comments or questions? Councillor Platt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Get used to it. Should we bow? I'd like to congratulate Councillor Bradley on his nomination. I'm guessing, looking around the room, the vote's going to go through for a change. No, seriously, I would hope to continue in the same vein as my predecessor, Alan Cullens. I think we get on reasonably well. We don't fall out over stupid things, generally speaking, and I hope we can continue that. We will continue to support what we think are your good ideas, and we'll continue to try to oppose, in our own very, very, very small way, things that we don't agree with. But as long, that's what we will do, and congratulations. Thank you.
Any other members' comments? Please can we move to the vote? The recommendation to formally elect Councillor Alistair Bradley as the Executive Leader of the Council. All those for? Against? Any abstentions? Looks like you got the job, Alistair. Executive Cabinet appointments for 2024-25. This item's for noting. Councillor Bradley, please can you present the report?
Back to the day job, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Members will see in the report appended on pages 37 to 40 the proposed appointments for this year, this civic year. There aren't a vast number of changes. It's a continuation of the previous administration. I pay thanks to all the cabinet members and supporting members and members responsible, champions, etc., who have served us so well over the last year. And I hope that the ones who were appointed this year, who are detailed on pages 37 through to 40, will do an excellent job. It's reflective of some of the changes within the councils. A couple of the roles have changed slightly in terms of where they're reporting to, because we've had changes in some of the executive officers as well. And therefore I recommend this report to the council. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Councillor Wilson, would you like to?
Yep, happy to second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Members, any comments? Councillor Alan Platt.
Once again, very briefly, Mr. Mayor. It is what it is. We've now all got more jobs than we ever really wanted. but I think we have this year and next year, and we'll hope to reduce the workload a little bit in a couple of years' time.
Please, can we just note the report? Appointments to committees, panels and working groups for 2024-25. This item's for decision. Councillor Bradley, please can you present this item?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to propose a recommendation stated in paragraphs 2, 3 and 4. There is one correction. As you can imagine, there's lots of names in that report. On page 46, the Licensing and Public Safety Committee, we are proposing to replace Councillor Sina Khan with Councillor Alex Hilton. So with that amendment, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose those recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. Councillor Wilson, would you like to say?
Seconded, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Members, any comments? Questions? Please can we move to the vote? The recommendation to approve the appointment of members and the council to committees, working groups, etc., and to note shadow appointments for 2024-25. All those for? Against? Abstentions? Right, that's voted on. Appointment to outside bodies 2024-25. This item again is for decision. Councillor Wilson, please can you present this item?
Happy to present, Mr. Mayor, although I don't want to be seen to be treading on the toes of the leader. But it's seen on the follow-on pack pages 55 to 58, the appointments to the outside bodies. I think there's been one or two revisions from last time because one or two of the bodies no longer meet, but I do believe that list is up to date that we've got, so happy to nominate the individuals on that list.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor Bradley, are you pleased to second the report?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, delighted. Seconded. Thank you.
Members, any comments or questions? Please can we move to the vote? Recommendation to approve the appointment of members of the council to committees, working groups, etc., and to note shadow appointments for 2024-25. All those for? Against? Abstentions? Thank you. Council meetings 2024-25. This item is for noting. Councillor Bradley, please can you propose the dates?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I propose the dates that are detailed through from now until next May, by which time, Mr. Mayor, your mayoral year will have flown by. It's all there. May 25 is already in front of us. Propose those dates. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Wilson, will you
Second.
Any comments or questions from members? That's just for noting. We just please can we note the dates? Household Support Fund. This item's for decision. Councillor Murray, please can you present this item?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So this paper is to seek approval to receive the Household Support Fund Round 5, which has been allocated to Chorley Council, and then to proceed to develop a delivery plan which reflects the criteria set down by the government, and the guidance on that criteria is in the report, page 15. Members will already be familiar with the fund, and the only significant change is around advice services, which were previously encouraged. However, these services can continue to be considered in the fund, but the primary focus is on more practical support. As with other rounds of the funding, the communities team have been working in partnership with the VCFS network to develop a delivery plan that not only responds to the immediate problems, but also encourages those in difficulty to access wider support. Delivery partners will be able to make direct contact with residents that are already known to their service, as well as accept referrals from other organisations. The summary of the method to allocate and distribute the funding are on page 16 and 17. It should be noted that a small contingency fund will be held until midway through delivery, and it will be allocated to the area with the greatest demand. Most of the partners have worked with the councils before, so they are aware of the expectations of the council, and they all have the necessary contracts and controls in place. And once agreed, hopefully this evening, the delivery will start tomorrow. So I would like to propose this report and also thank the voluntary organisations and charities which will be involved in the delivery of it. Thank you.
Councillor Sina Khan, please can you second?
Happy to second, Mr Mayor. Thank you.
Members, any comments or questions? Councillor Alan Clark.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. We'd also like to thank the voluntary bodies who will be implementing this. We welcome the £310,000 in government funding for the borough, and I think all that's to be said is we've got complete faith in the officers to make sure it's distributed where it's most needed. Thank you.
Any more questions? Councillor Murray.
It doesn't actually say in the report who the partners are, but there are CAB, Home Start, Living Waters, Chorley Buddies, St Lawrence's, United Reform, just to name a few. So, oh, and sorry, just also they will be expected to not just operate in the town centre, but cover the whole of the borough.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Any more questions from members or comments? If not, can we please move to the vote? Recommendations are at paras 4 and 5. You've had a chance to have a look at it. All those for? Against? Abstentions? Right, that's voted for. Right, we now move to the exclusion of public and press. This item is for decision. Councillor Bradley, please can you propose the exclusion?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I move that we exclude the public and press so we can move to part 2 of the meeting? Thank you.
Councillor Wilson.
Seconded, Mr Mayor.
This is for vote. All those for? Against? Abstentions? Please can we stop